The Week 7 Kansas City Chiefs Instant Reaction is live. Your 580 social media channel, W on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. I'm Brendan Dzwierzynski, joined as always by Dan Lucero and Jake Lebahn here with you following the Kansas City Chiefs triumphant 31-17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs still the owners of the best record in the NFL at 6-1. The Chargers, amazingly, depending on how much postseason hype or preseason hype you believed, they are just 2-4 on the year. The phrase that it's a tale of two halves or a tale of two quarters or whatever is probably the most overused phrase in all of sports, ripped from the headlines of literature years gone by. It probably has never been more true than in this game. It looked like in the first half we were going to have 100 points for each team. And then in the second half, the Chiefs defense was as good as it has been all year, completely slammed the door on the Chargers, did not allow a single point after halftime. Dan, we'll start with you today. I mean, what is more impressive? How good that Chiefs offense looked early in the game that made us think, okay, back, or the defense completely slamming the door on the Chargers after halftime?
I think it was an outstanding 60 minutes for the Chiefs, and they proved that they're the best team in the National Football League. I don't think I don't have any room for debate. I don't have any room to debate anybody on this. That's the best team in the National Football League. Offensively, defensively, special teams. They got it all. That's the best team in the league, and they showed it over the course of 60 minutes. Defensively, I think we'll start there because they shut out the Chargers in the second half. I am not as well versed in the lingo or the talk, the personnel discussions on defense to know exactly what the adjustment was that the Chiefs made. It may have just been as simple as they didn't give up a splash play, because that's what the Chargers needed to score on their 2 touchdown drives in the first half. They had the 49-yard run from Kelly that was a touchdown, and they had a long completion to Palmer that set up the other touchdown. The Chiefs stopped giving up those big splash plays. They really made it hard for the Chargers to drive the field. And it's been hard for teams to drive the field on the Chiefs all year. So once they eliminated the splash plays, I thought the safeties played really well. The defensive backs were terrific again. And they really buttoned down that Charger offense. And the pass rush was able to go to work late in the game, ended up with 5 sacks. Super game, I thought, for the defense, aside from the 2 big plays that set up the touchdowns. And then offensively, this is, and we've got a comment on here from Vance on the YouTube stream. That's exactly right. This is what we expect the Chiefs to look like, right? Like when we talk about the Chiefs, this is what we think it looks like. Mahomes, confident, composed, all day to throw. The offensive line was awesome in this game. Joey Bosa, non-factor. Khalil Mack made like 1 play. The pass rush got home, I think, just the 1 time. Mahomes doing Mahomes things. Travis Kelce doing Travis Kelce things. Credit the Chargers in the second half. Their big adjustment was, we're going to triple team Travis Kelce. They had 3 guys devoted to making sure 87 didn't get the ball anymore. And that did throw a wrench in what was working for the Chiefs in the first half, because a lot of what was working was 87's getting open and getting to the spot and keeping the chains moving. But the Chiefs were able ultimately to put the game away late because of an old friend. Mecole Hardman being back, the big punt return, obviously, but the faith that Mahomes had to throw him that ball on 3rd down over the middle, to throw it up to somebody else who isn't Travis Kelce and know that guy's going to make the catch. I don't think we've seen that from the Chiefs offense in those 3rd down spots in the red zone this year. We saw it in that spot. Mecole Hardman made the play, kept the chains moving. Pacheco, I think, scored a play later in the game. That was as impressive as 60 minutes as we've seen from the Chiefs all season long. The AFC West, it's over. It's kaput. It's donezo. The race is over. Chiefs are going to win it again. Tell your boy Marco to buy his shirt, because the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West once again, and they're the best team in the league.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that stand out about what you mentioned there. One, it's week 7 and it's over. It was never not going to be over for this Chiefs team winning the division, but it is kind of amazing. We're not even halfway through the year and it is already over. Secondly, the Mecole Hardman point, and hey, look, made plays today. I won't say anything negative about the move today. It obviously worked out. He made the big play on special teams. He made the big play on offense. The funny thing about it, though, Patrick Mahomes probably showed more faith in Mecole Hardman today in his first game back with the team after being away for 9 months than he did in his first 4 years with the Chiefs, which I think tells you how much the Chiefs just needed that one guy who you could reliably get the ball to down the field to make a play in space, who's not number 87. And today it was Hardman, and you give him credit Yes, obviously had the big numbers on a limited number of catches today. Guys stepped up, and we talked about that when we did our keys to the game on 580 Sports Talk on Friday, that there are going to be downfield passing opportunities against this Chargers defense. They have allowed, entering this week, and I'm sure it'll be the same after this week, tied for the 4th most explosive pass plays in the entire NFL. It's probably going to go up, in fact, after this game. They're ranking in that category. Chiefs took advantage of it. Chargers weren't able to make enough offensive adjustments in the second half, and that was the big difference in the game. Point about Hardman and the offense being able to move the ball, we have been waiting for this offense to look seamless, because for so many games, so many moments over the past 5 years, that's what it's been. It has been seamless offense. It maybe wasn't perfect in the second half, but the fact that Hardman found ways to move the ball, or frankly, Justin Watson, the fact that they were able to do so many different things to move the ball, I mean, that's got to be as encouraging as anything from this game.
The big factor that I look at in this one was the Chiefs had 4 chances in the second half to end the game, and they didn't, and yet they still put up 31 points and almost 500 yards of offense. Like we talk about, this is the best the Chiefs offense is. Look, they're unstoppable. Wow, they look great. Rice was good. MVS made a play. Mahomes, Kelsey was dominant, and they still went 4 straight possessions without a point. That's how good this offense can be if they're clicking on all cylinders. So the offense did have chances in the second half. And, I mean, they moved the ball left and right. You know, I don't know why we're throwing the ball to Blake Bell, but either way.
He didn't catch the damn thing. That was so weird.
If he holds on to that, the game's over there, because the Chiefs go up by 10. It's not going to happen. So the Chiefs moved the ball well enough just to play here or there. So the offense was really, really good, scored 31 points. Mahomes was excellent pretty much the entire game. And then on defense, to me, Charles Omenihu showed up today. They list him. I thought he got 2 sacks. I thought they'd credit him for a half, but they gave it to Dana. But he had 1 sack, 1 pass breakup, which resulted in the interception, 2 QB hits, 1 tackle for loss. You add now Charles Omenihu to this group, and look who ended up with sacks today. Mike Dana, Willie Gay, George Karlaftis, Drew Tranquil, and Charles Omenihu. Guess who didn't? It was Chris Jones. He still was wreaking havoc, but other guys stepped up and made plays. Willie Gay was all over the field today. Nick Bolton going down, that can be a big deal. It really, really can. But the benefit of that is you got a really good linebacker in Drew Tranquil who can fill his spot. I thought, outside of the 2 big plays, the defense was good, but the offense clicked, even though in the second half they only scored 7 points, and we're talking the offense clicking, and the defense was outstanding. And Charles Omenihu is going to bring a whole different side of this. You get Karlaftis, Dana, Chris Jones, and Omenihu in a pass rush sequence. Those 4 guys, and if you send a blitzer, good luck. I mean, the Chiefs have held every team under 21 points this year. That's unheard of for the Chiefs. So those are the 2 things that stood out to me. Was the defense was excellent, but Omenihu gives them a different factor. And the Chiefs offense still gave up 4 consecutive possessions without a point. They didn't get it. So good stuff for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and to the point about Omenihu, too, and Dan, I asked you this, and going back Monday or Tuesday on 580 Sports Talk, I said, Omenihu into the mix. Is this just going to make an already strong part of the team, the pass rush, better, or is it actually going to add something different that we haven't seen before with the Chiefs? And we knew that he was going to be able to rush from the interior a little bit more. He's not just a pure only come off the edge, wide 9 kind of guy. We knew he would add that. But this game, if this is what we're going to get consistently between now and week 18, that much fury, even if you just say, well, yeah, that it's nothing new, it's just better, that does make this team entirely different, because you can't try to go vertical against in the backfield constantly. Teams are going to have to completely adjust their offensive game plans, not just the way they protect, but the entire way they plan to move the ball. Right, this much. They won't get, 5 or 6 sacks every single week. That's just likely not going to happen. But if you can create that much havoc in a quarterback's face, get that many bodies, offense in the league is going to struggle with that.
Yeah, it's his length, which was crucial on the pass deflection that L'Jarius Sneed ended up intercepting. And it's his ability on the interior, which let them kick Jones to the outside. You notice on, I think it was a Menahu's sack, that was a Menahu one-on-one with a guard, which good luck to any guard that has to do that one-on-one. And Jones then gets one-on-one on the tackle. So you're on 2-on-2 with a Menahu and Jones in a passing down. Somebody's going to win. One of those two guys is going to win, and one of those two guys is going to make it hard on the quarterback. So it does. It elevates this team, and you could tell he played with energy. Herbert, I know he's playing through the broken finger on his offhand, and that's not nothing. But at the same time, he never looked comfortable, I don't think, and especially not in the second half. Just never really looked comfortable with his sight lines, looked comfortable making throws in rhythm, timing throws. He didn't look comfortable, and I think the Chiefs are a big part of the reason why he didn't look comfortable. Secondary played well, but man, that new element to the pass rush, holy smokes. I mean, a Menahu looked like the perfect addition, like the cherry on top is what he looked like today.
Defensively, this was such a perfect example of why the Chiefs have gotten to where they are as a defensive unit and why the Chargers very likely, or very possibly anyway, are going to be looking for a new head coach at the end of the year, because super genius defensive mind did not, I mean, they adjusted. Sure, they found ways to adjust, but you've got to be more than just what the were in this game. Like, you fall down by one score and your team completely falls apart. That's not good enough. And part of that's on Herbert. Part of that's on Kellen Moore. Part of that is on the skill position players the Chargers have. But the Chiefs coaching staff, they put the right calls. They made them at the right time, made the perfect adjustments. The Chargers didn't do enough of that. And that still, to this day, is the difference between these two teams. You can give as you want going into the season to the Chargers and say how much talent they have, and Justin Herbert is all, so great, and Brandon Staley's a genius and the analytical darling and all of these things. But you've still got to pull the right strings at the right time. Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, and whatever credit he deserves, Matt Nagy did that, and the Chargers just are incapable of it. And that's why these two teams are still where they are all these years later, as this rivalry, like all of the Chiefs' divisional rivalries, become more and more one-sided.
When I look at the Chargers, it baffles me how Brandon Staley's not better at defense. Why on earth? Like, what possesses you to play zone and just let Travis Kelce pick you apart? Like, that blows my mind. What I would quadruple team Travis Kelce, play everyone else one-on-one, and go down with Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, or, MVS beating you. I just don't understand that. Like, if Bill Belichick is like, my whole goal is to take away Travis Kelce, your whole goal should be take away Travis Kelce. I mean, he's the best tight end in the history of the game, and this dude is butt naked open every single catch he had in the first half. No one was near him. Like, what are you... Brandon Staley, was that your game plan? We're just going to play zone and call it good, and then in the second half, we're going to double team him? That's just asinine to me. It just makes no sense whatsoever. They might have, these big names, but Joey Bosa was an absolute non-factor. Let's give credit to Jawan Taylor and to Donovan Smith, because they erased both of those two guys. The Chiefs O-line was good. And Dan said it, the Chiefs defense outside of two plays, like, what is it, 46-yarder, and what was the other
49-yard run, and then I don't know what Palmer's
the 60-yard pass. Yeah, that's 100 yards there that they got. They ended up with 358. So outside of two plays, the Chiefs defense was outstanding. I mean, better than outstanding, except for those two plays. Now, those factor in there, obviously, and those are the first two big plays that the Chiefs have given up all year. But the Andy Reid putting coaching circles around Brandon Staley, that is not a surprise whatever. This is a really good overall win, really, really was. And for a team that normally plays close games with them, I know it was a one-score game, but not many people felt like the Chargers were going to come back and get a score, because the defense, this is the first time maybe as a Chiefs fan that in that situation, I felt like the Chiefs defense wasn't going to give up a score. Like, I felt that it kind of felt like, on the reverse, when Mahomes has the ball down by 4 or down by 2 and he has the ball, you feel like they're going to score. now where it's, oh gosh, 4 straight times the Chiefs defense had to come up with a stop, because if they give up a touchdown, it's a tie game. I never felt like the Chargers were going to do that. And that's a unique feeling for us Chiefs fans.
Yeah, let's get to a final round of thoughts here as we wrap up. Again, a Chiefs dominant victory. Anyway, 31-17 over the Chargers. I just wanted to give a couple shout outs here to a few players. You mentioned the tackles, Jake. I think they deserve tons of credit in this game. Donovan Smith has been certainly up and down so far through the first 6 weeks of the year. I thought he was really good. Juwan Taylor was stellar in this game. The whole offensive line played darn well. The entire group that got after the quarterback, I was specifically going to shout out Mike Dana, because the contract year does not ever lie, and it wins every single time. And he is going to make a ton of money this offseason, and good for him. And on the way there, he's going to make a lot of Chiefs fans and that entire Chiefs defense very happy. And you mentioned him. You might have both mentioned him. I know you did, Jake. Rashee Rice getting involved again. He is a guy you have to keep involved. And it is nice now that if Mahomes is going to feel comfortable throwing the ball more to Mecole Hardman, who had a bigger role than maybe I expected he would, maybe a lot of people expected he would this week, you got comfort there. Okay, great, awesome. There's still probably some limitations that come with him as a player. This can be next, wide receiver one kind of player. I don't know that he's ever going to be, a Jefferson and Adams, a Hill kind of wide receiver one, but you can rely on him to make plays. I'm glad he got the chance to show out and make a couple of big plays today, including that touchdown grab. Dan, we'll go to you next. Final thoughts on what was a very impressive, for myriad reasons, win for the Chiefs.
It just felt very familiar on offense, with Mahomes making plays out of structure, and Mahomes making plays with his legs, and the third down and long feeling like no big deal because, somebody will figure it out. Like I did the third and long. There was a 3rd and 15. They dropped 7 defensive backs to the line to gain. And I thought in my head, I said, Mahomes will just run for this. And he did. That's exactly what he did. Great downfield block by Sky Moore, by the way. Not just getting his cardio in on that snap. He made a good block, and Mahomes showed him love for that. So credit to him on that. But 3rd and long, feeling easy, feeling like easy money. Receivers going where Mahomes goes and making those plays, making themselves available to hit plays on those scramble drills. MVS for his touchdown. That's not an element we've seen a lot this year in the Chiefs offense. And it was MVS who went and made that play. And Rashee Rice making explosive plays after the catch. And Mecole Hardman adding the element that he did. And Travis Kelce being Travis Kelce. And the screen game being so clutch. A lot of big plays tonight in the screen game. It felt very familiar for this Chiefs offense. For maybe the first time all year, it felt like the Chiefs offense, and it's starting to feel familiar for the Chiefs defense, being like a brick wall, being hard to accumulate points against. Once again, they keep a team under 20 offensive points. Just super all-around performance. I'll double back to where I started. They're the best team in the National Football League.
Yeah. Honestly, not really a discussion. I saw you see this every year. Every year, college football, NFL, college basketball, you always see the same things on social media. It's the old, is anyone actually this year take? Yeah, if you actually watch the damn games, you would know indeed there are good teams. And all you need to do is look at the team that just won the Super Bowl and should again be the favorites to do it this year, because they've got the coach, they've got the quarterback, and now, more than ever before, they've certainly got the defense to get it done. What about you, Jake? The final lasting images of this Week 7 win?
Charles Omenihu. We've been wondering what he's going to be like when you add him to this team. Charles Omenihu, he was fantastic. Number 9, he brings a different element and adds another pass rusher.
Huge deal for this team to be able to add that much more talent at this juncture of the season. We, of course, will be talking all about the incredible first half for the offense, the remarkable second half for the defense, and everything in between from this 31-17 win over the Chargers, coming up Monday on 580 Sports Talk from 2 until 6 on 580 AM and 104.9 FM in the Capital City. We're joined by Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated to take a look around the entire NFL. Hopefully not talking about a game from the Mountain Time Zone, because if we do, I might jump on the radio station. But other than that, we'll have tons of NFL action to get to from Week 7 across the league. We'll, of course, have full reaction to Case, a dominant win over the TCU Horned Frogs. All that and much more coming up Monday on 580 Sports Talk from 2 until 6. And until then, for Jake Lebahn, for Dan Lucero, I'm Brendan. Appreciate you guys for checking out this week's edition of the Chiefs Instant Reaction Post-Game Show following a 31-7